Ever since the Switch came out, Pokemon has been in absolute shambles. We've got nothing but lazy, generic, sloppily put together shit that look and run poorly, which has made me nostalgic for the games that came before, especially the Gen 4 games, being Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Heart Gold and Soul Silver count too, but I'll talk about those masterpieces another day. You'll have to cut me a bit of slack because my first two Pokemon playthroughs were both Gen 4 games, being Pokemon Pearl, which I got in 2008 alongside my trusty black DS Lite that's still fully functional to this day, and then my beloved Pokemon Platinum the following year. The Sinnoh region is how I instantly got hooked on Pokemon like it was crack. Tight. There was no stopping me from playing Pokemon and running my own online hacked Pokemon empire. I was like the Heisenberg of hacked Pokemon back in the day. Thanks to these R4 cards and an action replay I used to have. I spent so many nights battling people online past my bedtime, quickly hiding my DS under my pillow before my mum would walk in, so I'd pretend to sleep just in time. It worked like a charm every time. I was stealthier than Snake from Metal Gear himself, cunt, I swear. As I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate the plot in Pokemon games, and the Sinnoh games have one of the better stories and more compelling characters compared to other games in the series. I mean, Cyrus alone was such an interesting villain while still being an absolute menace to society. Most villains and teams in Pokemon either feel bland and boring, or annoying and over the top. This may be the same guy trying to destroy the world with time and space gods, and even summoned fucking Satan himself. No. Wait. But regardless, everything he'll say or do, he does it with confidence. I mean, in all fairness, you do need a lot of confidence to try and destroy the world with that dead haircut.
I'll be crying if I look like that too, bro. That's fucked up what they be doing to y'all.
Cynthia is easily my favorite Pokemon League champion in the whole franchise by a mile. There's a lot of questionable reasons on why that may be, but most importantly, she was a genuinely difficult champion to beat that feels like if Dark Souls was made for 5-year-olds. Her Garchomp alone still gives me Vietnam flashbacks to this day. She's been a fan favorite ever since and has returned in numerous other main series games. I'll never forget how I felt when I first walked into that random house in black and white.
Okay, get in.
You also can't forget that Looker was introduced in this generation and was always funny, unlike some other new characters like Barry.
Hell no, man, what the fuck?
Barry isn't necessarily a bad character by any means, but he doesn't really add anything to the story, unlike rivals like Blue and Silver who came before. He just feels like comic relief, and his team is extremely easy to defeat every time. Even Professor Oak appears multiple times throughout the game. I do have to admit that most of my bias towards the Sinnoh games is for Platinum alone, which is by far the best out of the three, because my god, I have to bring up that the pacing and overall speed of these games is fucking miserable. A lot of encounters in these games go for so long that you'd end up getting arthritis in your right thumb just from spamming the A button alone to advance through the game. You'll end up going back and forth the same towns and other areas doing pointless shit that drag on for way too long. Diamond and Pearl in particular suffer from slow-paced battle sequences that take an eternity to get through. You can't convince me that the amount of time it takes for a Pokemon to lose HP in battle isn't horrendous. This generation was the first main series Pokemon games to run at 30 FPS instead of 60 like in Gens 1 through 3. None of that, however, comes remotely close to the excruciatingly slow surfing speeds in these games. Any water areas in Diamond and Pearl are so unbearable that I'd rather get castrated and fed my own bowls.
What did he say?
Platinum increased the surfing speed, and slightly increased the amount of time it takes for a Pokemon to lose HP when in battle, but my god, it's still not great at all whatsoever. Some of these issues also leaked into Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which just makes me want to cry myself to sleep.
Oh my fucking... Fuck out of here!
Slander aside, these games had so much content to offer. This was the first time we got a snow area in a Pokemon game, as well as multiple event legendaries to catch, which are all located in unique areas that you wouldn't be able to access otherwise. And that post-game island with the Battle Frontier and high-level wild Pokemon from past generations was pretty cool too. You can even re-battle gym leaders in this dodgy-looking house. I think it's where you catch Heatran too, but I don't know, I can't remember. The amount of new Pokemon introduced in Gen 4 was so fucking good. All three starters are pretty solid in this generation. Yeah, Turtwig, who looks so menacing when it finally evolves into Torterra. I still have my OG starter Turtwig from my original 2008 Pearl save file, and it's been cloned and transferred to my newer games. Piplup is probably my favourite starter from this generation, just for its final evolution alone, since Empoleon becomes a water steel type, which to this day, it's still the only Pokemon out of all 1015 to have this type combination. And you have Chimchar, who I chose on my original Platinum playthrough in 2009, just because of how overpowered he was, and also because I hated being stuck using Rapidash, who's the only other viable fire type you can get in this generation during the main story. You also can't forget about fan favourites like Garchomp, Lucario, Drapion, Spiritomb, God, Satan, Transformer, overly sexualized humanoid bunny. Hey, just hear me out. Just hear me out.
Whoa, 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 hey, 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 hey!
There were even a ton of new evolutions for Pokemon from past generations who were in desperate need of a glow up, even if most of them were BS trade exclusives, which is where the action replay comes in handy. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this before, but I used to shiny hunt for years, and one of my favourite ways to shiny hunt was using the Poke Radar, which was introduced in this generation, and has only ever returned in a future installment once in X and Y. I remember how much I was freaking out when I got my first shiny Snorunt. To wrap up this shit show of a video, Pokemon Platinum and I guess Diamond and Pearl 2 were an exquisite bunch of games all sophisticated gentlemen like myself will forever love and appreciate more than life itself. I love the Gen 4 games so much that I'll ship off my entire family off to Nigeria just to be able to relive those precious childhood memories once again. There was a ton of content and other cool new features that I didn't even mention, like the Power Park where you could transfer Pokemon from the GBA games to the Gen 4 games and beyond, and that these games were the first games that had online, which is where I spent a lot of my time battling and trading randoms around the globe, and was also my first online gaming experience that I can remember, maybe besides Mario Kart DS, but I can't remember which I played first. These games are just so special to me, and are what truly ignited my unhealthy love for Pokemon, and gaming in general for that matter. Despite some of the Gen 4 games having excruciatingly sluggish mechanics and piss poor pacing in the story, these games were, and still are peak Pokemon. But please do yourself a favor and play Platinum. Don't waste your time playing Diamond and Pearl, or all those atrocious remakes on the Switch. And Cynthia, if you're watching, please just hear me out. Just give me a chance, please, hear me out.